I come to you with this quick video because we got some breaking news on our hands, and the Carolina Panthers now own the number 1 overall pick. So I'm coming here after I just found the brand new trade details of everything Chicago gets and with what the Panthers get. And first, let's talk about what the Panthers get. They get the first overall pick. Now, where are they going to go with it? Well, it's a quarterback, obviously. So let's talk about the top 4 quarterbacks in everyone's eyes. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. And I think we can roll 2 guys out immediately. I think Anthony Richardson and Will Levis can both be ruled out because I don't think you necessarily had to trade up to 1 to get them. I think you could have traded up to 3 because I think Indianapolis really likes Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, but that's as far as you had to go. So you had to jump to Texans. A lot of people can say this is Bryce Young, and that's who I think the Texans want and desire. But I also think there was a fear of Houston trading up to 1 and then someone else trading up with Chicago at 2. I think both the Texans and Panthers are happy with the situation because I don't think they're going to take either one of their guys. I think the Panthers are drafting CJ Stroud number 1 overall. Josh McCown did a video talking about CJ Stroud, and I'm not going to go into the full details. I'll link it in the description or put it in the comment section or something if you want to listen to it. But he does an in-depth breakdown of CJ Stroud, and why is that important? Well, McCown's the quarterback coach of the Carolina Panthers, and he loves CJ Stroud. I think this is obviously CJ Stroud number 1 overall. So let's look at Chicago's side. What does Chicago do with it? Well, let's talk about their compensation. They got the 9th overall pick, the 61st overall pick, a first-round pick in 2024, a second-round pick in 2025, and wide receiver DJ Moore. Let's talk about the known quantity in DJ Moore. DJ Moore is nothing special in my opinion. I think he's a solid wide receiver. I don't think he's as highly regarded as everyone says he is, but I think he's very good, and he can make an impact for the Bears when they have nobody. You could argue not Anthony Miller, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name, the wide receiver the Bears had of a couple years ago they drafted, and Chase Claypool. And they don't really have many guys there. It's going to drive me crazy trying to remember who it is as I talk, but their number 1 pass option last year was Cole Kmet, the tight end from Notre Dame a couple years ago. And he is fine. He's a much better blocking tight end than receiving tight end, though. The Bears need someone to throw the football to, and DJ Moore is that guy. And now let's look at with what the Bears now have with the 9th overall pick. Well, you can do a couple things. You can draft Zay Flowers, give another option to Justin Fields, or you can go offensive line. I just read earlier today, though, that the Bears are interested in Orlando Brown. That is huge. You bring him in, you have a left tackle, and the Bears have enough money to spend. They need to spend money. So, with what I'm saying here can be completely different next week because they have to spend so much money to get over the cap threshold. Like, they have to spend so they're not under the cap threshold limit. And you look at these guys on the board. Well, Orlando Brown, just watched Pirates of the Caribbean, I think would be a great addition for the Bears, and I think they also add a wide receiver in that. And then you look, what do they do with that pick? Well, there's a couple things. Lucas Van Ness is someone I think would do wonders in Matt Eberflus's defense, and I truly, truly believe they'll still have a realistic shot at Jalen Carter with these legal situation going on. So we look at the Bears. What are they right now? Well, they're a team on the rise, and they're investing in Justin Fields. This trade right here says, Justin's our guy. And I was wondering what this exact deal would look like and why I thought Carolina would be the team you trade with. Because let's say Justin doesn't do much this year. Like, just stuff happens, he gets hurt, or he regresses. Well, you also have next year's class of Caleb Williams and Drake May. They have another first next year, and they have a second in 2025 they can use to deal. The Bears are in a very good spot because they are investing in Justin Fields right now. They're going to draft to put talent around him, get guys around him, get a line, get receivers around him, maybe address some defense issues. But let's work with Justin here. And if it doesn't work, you have enough assets in 2024 to go up and get 1 or 2 highly regarded prospects that could arguably be the first and second pick in this year's class as it is. So you can argue they're kicking the can down the road a bit. Maybe they're not as interested in this class, but they really like next year's class, and they really like Justin. So they're going to give Justin one more shot, and then they're going to look at next year's class, which is huge. And I don't rule the Bears trading out again. If Jalen Carter is there, I think they take him because I think they did a lot of research on him. And this is depending on legal situation. I don't know the situation, obviously. I think he'd be their guy at 9 if everything is fine on his end. But if not, I don't rule trading down. You can look at the Patriots maybe trading up. You can look at I was going to say Packers, but that's unlikely. Or maybe the Jets even trade up. Maybe the Ravens trade up. Like, there's so much we don't know yet. And this is just something that just throws a giant cog in the machine. The Bears controlled how this draft was going to go, and they still do because they had the 1 pick, they trade down. Now they have the 9 pick, and that 9 pick is right on the edge of the top 10, where I think a quarterback could still be on the board that a team may trade up and get. So this is very interesting from their standpoint because the Bears have so many holes in their roster. They trade away Roquan, and they don't have much at linebacker. They don't have much at DN. They have some guys in secondary, but that's around it, and they need to overhaul their defense as well. So I don't rule the Bears trading out of 9 and down more. And maybe you look at a team like, I'm just going to throw it out there, the most logical, the Washington Commanders, who need a quarterback. Sam Howell's going to be their starting quarterback, they say, but I don't know how much you can believe them. Maybe they look there. But the key to these trades are Panthers, they're taking CJ Stroud number 1 overall. That's their goal. The Bears, they have so many holes in their roster they need to fix. They have free agency and they had the draft. They're going to do as much as they can. So stay tuned because I don't think Chicago's done. And they're going to make a lot of noise next week when free agency opens. That's going to completely change the outlook of their team.